Hello, welcome into the locker room. On tonight's show, we will be talking Barcelona, PSG, Premier League, and showing you some great goals as well. Phil Shane and Ray Hudson are back with us, as are Thomas Rongan and Gary Bailey. But let's get right into the show. Barcelona won the Spanish Supercopa 2-1 in a game against Sevilla. But Ousmane Dembele shone in this showing from Barca, and he has taken many of the plaudits right now. So we'll get to him in just a moment, but first, let's show you the highlights of this one. Messi as captain, leading his side out.
He was absolutely brilliant in this game, by the way, as well, Messi. Yeah, I've used the expression before, he doesn't look for passing lanes, he invents them, Kay, and he did. But what a big shock this was, because Barcelona were bossa novering Sevilla. They had one attack, he's onside. It's a beautiful finish.
Yeah. You know what's interesting, Kay, is that 6 of these Barcelona players didn't even have a pre-season. So Messi, Dembele, Suarez, Busquets, Piqué and Alba. And yet they come together, they go 1-0 down, they bounce back, they have 65% possession, they get back on the score sheet here, quick response from Piqué. And they do so well without no preparation. Brilliant.
It was one of the most one-sided, lopsided finals I've seen. This was Messi's, well, it was Piqué's equaliser, but Messi's magic did it again. But it was impressive, and this was the golazo bombazo. I mean, absolutely unbelievable. You know, I've seen more fat on a toothpick than on this kid. And look, Thomas, this is all pure technique.
It is. And Kay came up with a great stat, Roy. He scores almost as much with his left foot and his right foot from distance, inside. He's played in the left side, where last year, towards the end of the season, when he was injury-free, played on the right side. So I'm telling you, Valverde's got the option to play him on both flanks. And what a goal, Rocky.
Yeah, it was a great goal, but
unbelievable.
Ter Stegen coming up trumps. What a bad penalty kick from Ben Yedder in the 91st minute.
Shocker.
Yeah, and you mentioned with Dembele on the left side on the case this time from Valverde. Valverde had praise for his player afterwards as well. He said that he sees a big future ahead of him. People had been worried for him, Phil, that the board don't want him to go. There had been a worry that Ousmane Dembele would want to go. So this could be a season for him. Is it the season for him?
Well, I think we'll know in about 2 more weeks, because every time he goes in, what was it? He went out to dinner with his good buddy and former Borussia Dortmund teammate in London, and people are all of a sudden talking about he's going to Arsenal. I think the one thing we've learned from Barcelona is even if they do sell him, there will be a buyback clause because they value him. But what we saw right here is perhaps a sign of things to come. And a lot of people were saying the arrival of Malcolm was going to be the death knell. If anything, it might have been giving lifeblood to Dembele, because now he realizes this is for real. He's got to start proving it.
Phil, it was a goal to win a final. It was a phenomenal world-class goal, and it deserved to be praised to the stars, Kay. But his overall performance, it was the same Dembele as we saw last season. Suarez as well. But it's still early. He's a young boy developing, and I think they'll keep faith with him, but he's still got a lot of work to do.
So who's missed something there? Because many times last season he was getting criticised, but you're saying it was kind of the same as last season, whereas others are saying that you saw him tracking back, you saw him linking up better with Messi as the game went on.
Work rate. I mean, you can get a donkey to work. You know, this is a gifted player, but we saw it in Germany. He is a special player. It's just, there's got a lot of rough edges around him.
He's maturing now, surely. I mean, he's still a young kid. And I'm actually wondering with Suarez, because you mentioned Suarez, he didn't look that good. Last season he had moments. I'm wondering if Dembele, you keep him because you need maybe to bring Messi in the middle and play him on the right. You need him up front, because if Suarez doesn't perform this season, Alcacer's not your man, and Dembele could be the
Isn't that why they bought Malcolm, though?
And that's a good point too, but Ray's right. He's 21. By the way, he lifted a trophy, a World Cup trophy at 21. And he played in 4 games and started 2. So he's matured maybe. He's getting better from that standpoint. This guy played Champions League 2 years ago at 19, like Mbappe's doing right now. It's just a matter of putting it together. And I think this year he might do that. He's got qualities. He's got to be right.
He's got the ability, he's got the compass, he's got the confidence, he's certainly got that, and he's got his teammates. He's with one of the greatest clubs in the world. Everything's set for him after that adjustment last year. He's got to polish up his game.
He needs a Ray Hudson right now as a coach. No, seriously, Rocky, put your arm around him. Let him go.
There's parts of him, and this is a backhanded compliment. There's parts of him that remind me so much of Messi, of Neymar, excuse me, of Neymar, where he's a little bit sloppy with the possession. He's a little bit, but like Gary says, he's young. He is young, but he's got to polish his game.
He certainly has. I'm just looking at Barcelona as a whole. They don't have the pre-season. They've got Umtiti on the bench. They don't start with Coutinho. They're up against a Sevilla side who really worked hard and wanted to win this. And they still coast to
the Achilles heel still is there, okay? You talk about not with Umtiti. The way Muriel went at Piqué and Lenglet on that counter again. And Sarabia, by the way, the first VAR. Is this the VAR sign or not in Spanish? This way, Spanish football to allow that goal, which was an onside goal as well. Both Piqué and Lenglet, again, if Umtiti gets injured and they've gotten rid of Mina on the counter, you're going to struggle.
Let's get back to Dembele.
I thought Lenglet on the ball was very, very good. But you're right. Again, another young player learning the Barcelona way.
But let's get back to Dembele for a second, because your main question is, what are they going to do over the next 2 weeks? They brought in Vidal. They brought in Arthur. They brought in Malcolm. You still have Suarez. You still have Coutinho. Is it worth keeping Dembele in Blaugrana?
Absolutely.
For 20 games?
Artur is a central player. Vidal is a central player. Coutinho eventually is a central dribbler as well. They don't have an out wide guy.
Those central players keep Messi out wide. And he's not going to
Messi's not going to play out wide.
You've also got Sergio Roberto, who's great on that side as well.
You need him.
Here's the problem in selling him, is they paid so much for him. They're not going to sell him cheap. So they're going to have to get 80 million plus to sell him. I don't know if anyone offers that.
And the English clubs are out.
And exactly. They can't buy him. So they will keep him, and I just hope that he matures after the World Cup and he loves it and he starts playing really well and he settles in.
What's the first game you guys doing next weekend, Barca?
He's outstanding. He is an outstanding player, unquestionably. But when he's with Barcelona, playing in the lights of Messi and the rest of it, you know the promise of magic is there. Let's see more of it. That's all I'm saying.
The foul that leads to the goal. Actually, I think it's Dembele or maybe Artur. He's going to draw fouls in critical areas where Messi can score as well.
All right, what were you thinking is coming up shortly here on the locker room. Goalkeeper gaffes, questionable pre-season trophies. You cannot miss this. But let's move on to tell you that Cristiano Ronaldo scored his first goal in a Juventus match just in the weekend that's just passed. It was against Juve B, and it was just a pre-season friendly. But yes, they do. They all count. So let's take a look at it. This is the goal.
It was a good finish, Kay. I mean, he didn't just... I mean, this is your B team. You think he'd just sort of put it next to the keeper. He does, and he brings it down here. Whack! He sticks it high and past the keeper.
If you were that goalkeeper, would you stay on your line with Cristiano coming at you like that?
Now,
I'd just be happy to be there and face him.
A question for you, and we're just talking about the league and the Serie A. We want to give you an over or under, and the figure is 27 league goals for Cristiano.
Why 27?
Not overall. In Serie A.
In Serie A.
Why 27?
Over or under? Gary Bailey.
I will go over because Icardi and them got 29, and I think with the support of Dybala, Mandzukic, Cuadrado, and Douglas Costa, he gets over 27.
I say under. And not because of... He's going to rest some games. I don't think... Listen, they want the Champions League. They should wrap up Serie A. Not going to be easy, but I say he's not going to play as many games as he does at Madrid. I say under.
I'm going to say over for the simple fact, that you're looking at lesser teams that are filling in the bottom of Serie A, all the reasons that you mentioned, and I'm just thinking, how many goals did Miroslav Klose score when he went to Serie A? And Cristiano Ronaldo's just a little bit better than Klose.
Rocky, pick me up. Back me up, Rocky.
Listen, I'm going under as well. But the thing is, I'm going under and I'm going over. I think he's going to get exactly...
He's tying his shoes.
He's going to get exactly 27.
That's very specific.
All right, I'm going to balance that table out and say over, and then he is going to go over in this one. We were wondering what the benchmark should be on over or under. There was a suggestion it should be 30, but we decided on 27 in the end. OK, still to come on the show, Tim Weah in a PSG shirt, continuing to bring us good things. We ask if patience is the virtue for Unai Emery at Arsenal, and the return of league action did not disappoint. We've got top goals on the way for you. Stick around. French football is back. The league, formerly known as Ligue 1, is back, and it's now known as the League of Talents. And there are none so talented as PSG, who opened things up with a 3-0 win at the weekend. No Mbappe, no Cavani, no problem. Neymar back in PSG colours and back on the score sheet as well. calamitous defending, though, allowed him to break through.
This goalkeeper, Brice Samba, trying to play out from the back when you're being pressurised by so many players. And let's be fair, PSG away, the last thing you want to do is give them the first goal and put yourself under massive pressure. But good tuck away there by Neymar.
Never trust a goalkeeper with his feet.
I agree with that.
But you know what? This one's pretty good with his hands.
Good save.
Was Neymar missing a bit of his usual spark rate?
It certainly looked as if he was playing within himself. Did they play down to Cam? You know, there's a number of excuses, but it didn't look as if he was happy for me in his performance overall. Di Maria was probably one of the best, and then later on the kid would come on. That, like Gary said, it was like, well, how many, Gary? 5, 6 teenagers.
20
so
or under.
it's good to see Thomas Tuchel providing that opportunity, because this was a poor Caen side.
He did it at Dortmund, and I think that might be a reason why Tim Weah gets a chance to stick around, plus what we're going to see in a few moments, because we're going to talk about the goal, but it's the effort in my mind that Tuchel's going to put that little mark next to his name.
Yeah, with Tim Weah coming on for Neymar in this game, some had expected him to start.
I thought this
was
a better save than the earlier one, because he's moving one way, look at Buffon, and then this one's going in the bottom corner.
His own player
still got it,
back to
Buffon.
it as well.
Still
It
got
was
it.
fun and games afterwards with this one. And here we go. This is what we've been talking about.
Look at his movement. That's the most impressive part for me, Thomas. It was a young man knowing exactly where he needs to be, and this is his goal. He chases down the defender first time, and then senses that this goalkeeper has a touch like an anvil, and then capitalises on it.
That's
Kid's got a lot of promise.
Thomas, as a manager, you're probably even more impressed. The goal's nice, but the fact that he had the anticipation and the determination to close down
You
the
always
keeper.
tell people that, though, Tommy, don't you? You tell them, what if? Do you know what I mean? You've got to believe in that stuff.
Absolutely. And if you look at Tuchel, the way he wants to play, it's not the press and counter press for 90 minutes, but quite often they pick their spots, and then you need players like Timothy Weah who's willing to go there, which Neymar not always might be doing. Listen, he scored against Monaco, which was a real game a week ago. Buffon, another clean sheet, and a clean sheet here. That's positive for Tuchel as well. Timothy Weah, Neymar gets his goal. Rabiot was great in the day. And Di Maria in pre-season, these two games are saying, hey, I still belong.
We know what we've seen from them, but everything we're seeing from Tim Weah is very promising. Andres Cordero said he's been on every call when he's been in a PSG shirt, and every time he's created goal-scoring opportunities.
But that's it. It's because of that creativity on his runs. He's a very mature player, and he's starting to realise the geometry of the box, and he knows that with the type of class players that he's got around him, if he can peel off his defenders like skin on a tangerine, that's what he did there that we just saw earlier. All that's going to come out.
Though? Does it, I mean, you've got Neymar, you've got Cavani, you've got Mbappe. They're not available. You've got Di Maria.
Right.
Then you've got Nkunku. Then you've got Draxler.
But
he's like seventh in line to get a chance. A
chance to come on?
Just to come on,
because he's still only a teenager, a youngster, who's at one of the biggest clubs in the world.
Absolutely.
So is that not still great for him?
Which he has been.
Well,
He's going to be patient, mate. Backside, the kid wants to kill. You see that attitude.
He won't get a chance.
You see, but he's getting chances.
No, but not
He's
not
getting
once it all
chances.
starts. Once it
He
starts,
started against Monaco as well.
Absolutely.
He's getting his chance, and he's getting his. So what do you want him to do, Gary? Go to Newcastle United and play every week?
All I'm saying is he has to be patient.
He
He
doesn't need to be patient. He's got to be hungry. It's hunger that gets him into the situations that he's now. He's just like his father. He's focused, he's hungry, and he believes in himself. And I think it will transpire. He is good enough. He's showing enough early on that he may be keeping the big boys out.
All the young players that Gary talked about in the whole pre-season, and you want to impress your new coach, you got to put Timothy Weah up there, probably with Nkunku right now, that he can say, you know what, this kid can start, which he did against Monaco, which was a huge game, and he comes off the bench as well. You know what? He might get as many minutes as Dembele gets as well at Barca, which is important for Timmy.
Where do you play him? Is he good? Because he's good enough to play a little bit out wide, but he's showing that dynamic in a central attacking position. So there's a good set of options. I think, Gary, to your point, he's going to be fed in with this coach. He's going to be given the example.
Very gradually, I would
hungry.
think. Very gradually, because Nkunku's played before him. You've got Draxler, you can't
at 18.
him out.
Fantastic.
They also
done,
have
Timothy
League Cup,
Weah.
they have Coupe de France, and they're going to be playing teams like Cannes in the regular season
It is
as
a
well.
long season. I'm going to stick with you, Phil Shane, because we're talking Premier League. We don't have too long to do so, so we're just going to stick with Arsenal and ask.
Wait, can we talk about how ugly United looked this past? No.
We're not talking about United. They got a win on the opening day. We're asking if patience is required for Unai Emery?
Well, in my mind, there's going to be some people that are just going to look at the score line and they're going to be frustrated. But I was actually enthused and actually optimistic based upon what we saw here, because Unai Emery tried things that were different. He ended up putting Ramsey up front. Didn't really work, and he did something Arsene Wenger doesn't do. He made the switch, put Lacazette in, things started to click. They even tried Welbeck at left back this past week, just in case, because their first two starting left backs were out. I liked the fact that when things got a little bit difficult at the half and he needed to pull someone out of the midfield, he kept Guendouzi on, even though he was probably drawing the ire of the commentators and some of the fans, because he saw what could happen. Pulls Xhaka, sticks Torreira. Very solid. I have a feeling that this is going to be a good lineup by the end of the year.
Chelsea away next game.
Wow.
There's still 76 games after that.
Bye-bye, Peter Cech. Burnt Leno, maybe in goal.
Within 2 games.
It was a weekend of wacky and wonderful goals, and we put together the best of them. We've already showed you some of them, but this happened in the Lyon game. This is Bertrand Traoré with a double nutmeg
That should count
in the
for
same
3.
ball.
Wow.
Keeper can't see it. So I'm letting the keeper off the hook. There's too many
He's
players in
standing
front
like
of
a
him.
giraffe.
Oh!
This
Wow.
is Andres Iniesta.
He got the
goal
Grana.
in the J-League.
Why
And
are
who
you
is
so
this?
surprised? Phil's screaming. You're
Podolski, no,
surprised?
it's not surprised. I marvel at his brilliance constantly.
Agreed.
And a good ball from
Wonderful.
Boldy.
Tell us about this one then,
Okay,
Phil.
well, here, Osted, the goalkeeper, is up 2-2. Ben Olsen sent his keeper up, says, ties aren't good enough, we need wins. Open net, that's Wayne Rooney against Will Johnson, and then turns it up, and look at this, blasts it across. This kid, Lucho Acosta, 5'3", soars in the air for the game winner in the 96th minute to get the 3 points.
If I'm Orlando's
Unbelievable,
coach, I'm looking at Will Johnson and saying, what were you doing? Just play it past Rooney into the
Run into
space,
space,
and you're fine.
But what drama? I mean, you couldn't have written that
Absolutely.
script.
And
That's
what a class
unbelievable.
ball.
But look
Class
at this.
ball from Rooney. This is a beauty. Look at
Lauren Hemp from the England under-20s. Wait, what happened
What?
there?
What happened?
What
This
happened?
is what happened.
What happened?
Watch this.
Oh,
Oh!
the hips don't lie.
What did you put it in with?
Her abs. Her abs, is what
abs
she
of
put it in with.
steel.
Stick around, we've got more goals still to come here on the Locker Room. Top goals of the weekend. Welcome back to the Locker Room. Goalkeeper, gaffes, haircuts and golden vegetables on offer in What Were You Thinking? But here is the Goalkeepers Union, Gary Bailey.
Yeah, Brice Samba, the 24-year-old from Congo, makes this horrendous. Trying to play the ball. Look at them with the blue shirts. There wasn't anyone to play to, so just kick it long.
But you know what? That wasn't his worst play.
But that's the thing, Phil. You've been a keeper as well. This is he plays it. You were saying he opens up the angle, then he's too slow to react, and this is on top of already having made one mistake. It's like a Carriers.
Sorry,
you
Timmy.
make one, you don't make a second mistake.
He rules
Come
it
on.
as well. Rules it.
This is the Cucumber D'Or. It is a Cucumber Golden Trophy.
Is that scratch and sniff? I'm just wondering.
It is 24 centimetres in height, 5 kilograms in weight, a pre-season trophy from Leganés.
Too much information. Too much
We
information.
applaud that one. All right, Ryan Babel's hair, what were you thinking? It is bright pink, but he's still scoring, so maybe it's doing him good.
That's all that counts for the Dutchies. The pie is calling people fake news. Here we got orange hair. Well done. Represent,
Orange hair,
baby.
pink
Represent.
Hair, pink hair, red hair. Anyway, Ryan Babel, what were you thinking? Maybe we like it, actually. Maybe we do. Send us your suggestions for what you're thinking. We always love to feature them, but it's top goals time now. And the return of the leagues was kind. We had a whole host of super strikes to pick from. We'll start here in the Turkish Super League, which offered up a few lovely ones. This is Emre Kilic for Sivasspor, picking the ball off on the corner of the box, putting this one away and setting himself up for it as well. Lovely stuff, little header down. Great control there. And that was just one of many from the Turkish Super League this weekend.
Got the chance to take a look at this one up close and personal. Olympique Lyon against Amiens. This one puts it away. Amiens kept it close, actually had the pressure on. Depay puts it out with a world-class finish.
Brilliant stuff there. We won't ask about the keeper there, Gary Bailey, because we know you've got stuff to say. Ray?
Yep.
Look at this one for me. Wabi Kazri from Saint-Etienne. The ball is put up there on a golf pin for him, and then the dynamic in the accuracy, and he's got his angles down better than Pythagoras. Beats the goalkeeper with a bouncer. And for me, Wabi Kazri.
Thomas?
Talk to me. Kasimpa. By the way, these are the Apaches of Turkey, and also my favorite district in Istanbul. One of 5 teams. What a goal right there by Khalili. That's better than the pie, by the way. Further out, and it's the scoop, Kay, as you called it. Yes.
Yeah, stick around, Thomas. Here is the goal of the weekend. It's the starter to beats 1, beats 2, beats 3, beats 4. Come on, keeper, and chips him. Wow, how about that? And what's more, they were 3-1 down, and Nîmes go to win this by 4 goals to 3.
Yeah, 4 goals to 3. You're right.
Look at the tackling.
Nîmes turning things around there with 3 late goals and this one. As you said, Gary Bailey, probably will be one of the French
like a running back
of the season.
Tough boy.
Vote for your favourites here on beIN Sports. We'd love to hear what you think. Did you like the one that Gary Bailey brought you with Sadat to you?
Come on, vote.
Did you like Khalili or Kilinc from the Turkish Super League? Or what about 2 more from France? Memphis Depay with his free kick and Wabi Kazri with that debut goal at Saint Etienne. Let us know which one you liked. Guys, have you got any European Supercopa predictions?
Atleti versus Real,
bounce back. I think it'll be a statement game.
I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to say that after all the changes at Real Madrid, Atletico are much better organised, fantastic, finished above them last season.
Great summer transfer window.
Imagine the start for the new manager if they lose to Atleti in the Supercopa. Wow, Lopetegui is going to be under huge pressure.
No.
But for Diego Simeone, it's another trophy.
I really do fancy them. Yes, I do, Ray. I really do.
For the season?
Right now, there's no reason for them not to focus on La Liga. In pre-season, Zidane said, forget about La Liga, let's win the 3rd one. We're going to be heroes the rest of our lives. Lopetegui right now is saying every game is important, like Barcelona did last year. They'll be in the mix from the start, and we'll win it in the end.
Okay.
It'll be a tremendous game, and Gareth Bale, of course, will be carrying the burden of responsibility.
Yes.
Cometh the hour, cometh the Welsh fire-breathing dragon.
Rocky playing every game. Asensio playing every game.
Modric for Real Madrid.
It better be bloody Keylor Navas.
It will be for this game, but I think when they start the season, it's Thibaut Courtois.
I agree. I think Navas is the cup keeper if they hold on to him.
I agree.
Okay, and very quickly, Liverpool or Man City this season for the Premier League?
Liverpool.
Liverpool?
Yeah.
Liverpool still has some work to do. Man City.
We are aligned, Rock. Absolutely Liverpool. Yes. Only one manager in the world.
Can he say it?
Can
he say it?
Man United.
All right, Gary
You can't just give me 2 options.
No, just giving them 2 options because everyone's saying they're the closest contenders for it. But maybe we'll be proved wrong. Thank you so much for joining us on tonight's Locker Room. We'll be back on Friday, 7:30 Eastern. Make sure you join us.
Menu 5th, Arsenal 6th.